start an organization and make sure to give people roles that suits their personality.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Who else wants to share? looking at the mic like.
Okay. Okay. Talking about impact entrepreneurship.
Okay.
There's quite an eye-opener for me. The fact that your business is not just for you to make profit, but be able to make impact on the environment,
okay.
The environment where you operate.
Okay. And
also, as long as you want to make profit, you must also make the people that start buying into your business, make them share in the vision of the business,
okay.
Make them understand that, okay, you also share in their own vision. You need to find out what their passions are and incorporate it into your business so that they can also own the business.
Okay.
That's my take. Because
right.
Most times, yeah, just as you say, I've been in a place where, it's just about the business.
Okay.
They don't really care about you. So if they say, public holiday, everybody must come out and that, this public holiday now, I mean, they enjoy this thing. Like, no, must come out. This is the period when you get to meet people and all that. Bring an end, okay, I have an event already for this public holiday. They say, no, it's about the 1 day. And such people don't try to keep their best. I just do it because
okay, cool. All right, thanks. Well, for those of you online, I heard you didn't hear, so I'm just recapping from what happened on Monday and Tuesday and what key takeaways that you had. If there's anybody online that also wants to share, you can raise up your hand and then we will take it. If you want to share what you've learned, particularly what we're going to do differently for your business based off of what you learned on the first and the second day. Yeah, if there's anybody, you can let me know. Okay, anybody else wants to share? Do justice. Is your name Justice? All right. Okay, cool. Okay.
Because aside from making money, there is a social impact aspect.
Okay.
Most of us believe as long as you're not doing the 9 to 5, you're automatically entrepreneur, you need to a business venture and life of it. Okay, for the day 2, it took us a bit deeper into the concept of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Like, should I call it random transportation or what's it called?
I don't know.
And you also do business.
Okay.
It involves the internal affairs of the business, how you relate with your customers and how you relate with the outside world.
Okay.
How you respond to criticism, how you handle it, and what's the guideline? Like your guideline and your principle.
Okay.
Because if something doesn't fit your personality, like a job, it's not advisable for you to accept it. Because the long run, I just keep the projects halfway.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks. Anybody online? You go. No. Okay. Okay. So it's also been interesting for me to know why. How many of you already have a business that you're running? You already started. Okay. Just you. So everybody else, you also have one. Okay. So the rest of you want to start. No. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Like, no. Like, why did you come for this program? I'm curious. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I don't know which techniques and let's move forward.
Okay.
You know you can be doing business, but this is small money.
Okay.
Well, you don't really. Is this what I really want to do?
Okay.
Branding.
2 people. Okay. Okay. So we have 2 people online that want to share. They want to share from the first question, right? What they've learned from the first and second day. So, what's it? Sulu.
Yeah, Sulu, yeah.
Okay. Sule. All right, Sule, you can share.
Good morning.
Hi.
So for me, it's been awesome experience so
Okay.
far. I've learned a lot. Why? What is the reason for being an entrepreneur, or what is the essence of entrepreneurship? I got that on the first day. To solve problem. And yesterday, the facilitator polished more that better by adding that you're not only just solving problem, you have to solve problem for someone that has an urgent need, and the need must be, the problem you're solving must be one that such a person that is in need of it is ready to pay. I also got yesterday the need to actually design for the user, leveraging the human-centered
Design
design
approach. Okay.
So you must, so most of the time we overthink these things, or we design for ourselves or a particular experience or situation that is peculiar to us. Whereas what we need is the feedback of the market, what is actually the need of the market, and now tailor our solution towards that. And it should be such that, then very importantly that I got yesterday is that pricing is not fixed. Pricing is flexible. They are not in business to keep a particular pricing font. People, it's not that you want people to know that you are expensive. What you want is people to be able to afford your service. And this is not fixed. It can be, there is need for you to be flexible when you relate with clients.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Sule. Really appreciate it. Well, okay, so we'll just take one more. So let's take Blessing. Blessing, you can unmute and share.
Good morning, class.
Good morning,
Okay,
Blessing.
why I actually raised my hand was you were curious about someone not being in business and attending the class. Shortly after COVID, I started a business. Unfortunately, with the rigors and the stress, I gave up because of the challenges I encountered on the business. I couldn't even continue and I gave up. Okay. So I came into the class to see how better I can rebrand the business and become better, because I couldn't withstand this challenge at that time and I gave up. But I felt that instead of giving up, I should have taken another option, which this class has opened my mind to, of which if I go back into the business, I'll learn from the mistake and do better too for the business. Thank you.
All right, thanks for sharing, Blessing. Great, okay, so at least I'm happy that this has been valuable to you so far, because there's nothing I hate like wasting my time, right? So since I don't like wasting my time, I also don't like sort of wasting people's time. So if this has been valuable, that's great. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting, and I hope that we can have a very interactive class. We're going to watch a bunch of videos and then have conversations. So it's not going to be a lot of me talking at you. It's going to be more of us having a discussion, right? So we're going to be talking about the business model canvas. It's typically what we call a one-page business plan. How many of you have ever had to do a business plan before? Probably you try to raise money or, right? Okay. So it's this very bulky, annoying document, right? It's annoying, isn't it? I don't think I've met anybody that said that, man, I love writing business plan. It's so much fun. Like I can't wait to write the next business plan. Like it's just laborious and boring. But as we started growing in entrepreneurship, particularly when tech entrepreneurship started taking center stage, I'm just giving you like sort of a background to why this document has become a very key document in entrepreneurship, is that we realized quickly that you can't really say what will happen. So everybody knows that your business plan is a bunch of assumptions, right? That might or might not happen. A classic business person will tell you, write the business plan and trade today, because nothing will ever go the way your business plan said. Nothing. Your market will change. The assumptions you have in your market will change. Your competition will change. Your value proposition will most likely change. Your product will evolve. There's just so many things that will happen that if you even run a business for a year, just try and go back to your business plan that you wrote. You'll be like, oh my God, like this is what I'm doing now is a totally different business from what I wrote in that document, right? Yeah. I should what? Okay. Right. It's very, very different from what I wrote in that document. Okay, I should introduce myself. I'm so sorry. I didn't introduce myself. My name is, I thought it's on the slide. My name is Mimshak Obioha. I've spent the last 6 years working with entrepreneurs. I used to work at a place called Ventures Platform. If you're not in the tech ecosystem, you would not know them. But they're basically venture capital. So I've done a lot of programs where we're supporting startups, entrepreneurs, helping them raise money, helping them figure out their business, advisory, and all of that. Now I work in a tech company where I'm not doing any of this. I'm just enjoying my life, best life. But we basically build software for people. Yeah, so that's what I do. That's what I've done, and that's what I do. But I love talking to entrepreneurs. Like I love the process of starting new stuff, just thinking through, tinkering. I love the process of uncertainty. I know a lot of people like certainty, like to know, oh my God, yes, this is it. If 1 + 1 = 2. Once my business gets to 1 + 1 = 2, I'm bored. I need to go because like there's no point. Like if I already know what's going to happen tomorrow, like there's no excitement, right? So for me, I like that process of experimentation at the beginning. So that's why I like talking to startups. Okay, so because people realize that document is just rubbish, right? And many times people rarely go back to update their business plan, very rarely. So, oh, this thing is not working. Let me go back and write the whole chapter on customer, who my customer is. Like, it's so hard, it's so difficult. It's a bulky document that you don't look forward to, so you don't even want to look at it again, right? But so they realize that, but the process of thinking through your business is still important. So you hear people say that the business plan is a crap document, but the process of producing it is relevant. Why? Because you get to think about different aspects of your business. Who's your customer? Why should they buy from you, right? What's the market that you're working in? What's the value you're providing to the customer? What's the value proposition? What is the product? What's the service? How are you going to deliver it to them, right? How are they going to reach out to you? What's your relationship with them? All of these things. So like, okay, since the process is important, and it's not about the document, right? It's about the process. How do we create a condensed version of that business plan in a way that you still go through the process of thinking through those things, right? And you can put it in a very easy tool. And so that as you're going into the market and you are working and you're doing your business and things are changing, because things will change, right? You can easily come back to this one, because it's one page. You can easily come back and move things around and say, oh, this didn't work. Scrap this, write this, try this out, right? But because it's hard for you to go back to your business plan, it's 50 pages for God's sakes. Like you don't even know where you're supposed to go and edit. But this one page is very, very simple for you to use, right? So we're going to be talking about this incredible document. This document has literally changed the way entrepreneurship runs. I'm going to give everybody in class one copy, and those of you online, we're going to move to the next slide. We're going to show you what the business model canvas is. It's a very interesting tool, and we're going to talk through it. We're also going to watch a bunch of videos that will also sort of give you an idea of what this is. Okay, don't look at it yet. Drop it, thank you. Okay, maybe you go back to my introduction slides. Everyone can listen to me. Before we go into this majorly, there's one philosophy I like to debunk in all my classes. So one of the things you will know about me is that I'm a very controversial person. I'm a very controversial person. I start thinking, anything anybody tells me, my first approach to it is why. In fact, many times my first approach to it is I don't agree. And I'm like, oh yeah, convince me now to agree with you, right? It's like, I just feel like just the fact that everybody's going in this direction is the wrong direction. If everybody's going like this, in my head, just because everybody's going there is wrong. Why? Because like, if you think about it, like majority of the people in the world are poor anyway. So if everybody had it there, then most likely the wrong direction. Because I'm sure that very few people are going in another direction. I don't want us to know. So I'm like, where are the other people going that we have not seen? So that's like my default mindset, right? So when people are talking about what you learned, I kept like, my head, I'm like, no, okay, maybe, right? But there's one big philosophy that I particularly hate. And this has been peddled by a group of people called motivational speakers. I feel like I have a deep personal mission to destroy all motivational speakers. All right. All right, and this is it. And I'll ask you, what do you think is the most important thing to your business as an entrepreneur? What's the single most important thing? Your customers. Oh my God. Have you had to my class before? What do you think is the single most important thing? Customers, okay? What do you think? What do you think? What? Money. Egole. Without the money, what are we doing here? Who else? Huh? Value. That's shown clan. You must provide value. Huh? Product. What else? Huh? Problem solving. Anybody else? The single most important thing to any business is problem. The reason why I don't like motivational speakers because they've told us for years that it's an idea. And I'll tell you why I have a big problem with an idea as the biggest thing. In business, you don't go to the market hugging your idea. Have you ever tried to give anybody feedback before about a business that they've worked on for the last 5 years before they launched it? Any friend of yours that worked on something so much and like, you need to check this out. And you're like, this is terrible. How did they reply you? Of course, you are a hater. You are the reason. It's because of people like you that people are not successful in Nigeria, because friends will not support their friends in their idea. Yes, they are the people their pastor talked about on Sunday. It's because of people like you. You're their problem. You're their problem. That's what happens. They get defensive and they attack you, or they let why? Because they love their idea so much. Everybody has told them that all you need is an idea. Mark Zuckerberg had one idea. Steve Jobs had one idea. Bill Gates, one idea. All you're looking for is that one idea to change your life, right? And now they found the one idea and you're telling them that that one idea is terrible. They hate you. This is my baby. I'm going to keep my baby, right? And that's why people get defensive. You even go to a restaurant, you go to a place like, oh my God, this place is so nice. Oh, you guys would do so much better if you guys added just these things. Say, no, that's not how we do things here. That's not how we do things here. Please, if you don't want to buy, be going. Why? Again, the idea. This guy visualized, conceptualized the idea, brought it to life, and you are now telling them that the idea is wrong? Please, come and be going. Right? If you'll not buy, don't come to my shop again. But what we don't realize is the most important thing is not the idea. The most important thing is the problem. Why is this the most important thing? How many of you this morning took your multivitamins? You didn't take your multivitamins? No. Do you know you need multivitamins? Do you think you need vitamins? You know that you need vitamins. Do you know this? You are aware. But why didn't you take your multivitamin? Is that why you didn't take it? No, is that really why you didn't take it? You did. You took a multivitamin. Why did you take a multivitamin? So you believe they're important and you took it. So you can see in a class of anybody online took your multivitamin today? Nobody, right? But imagine if you woke up today with this kind of headache that your head is making boom, 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 boom. You know that headache? I mean, that headache when you feel like your head is falling on the floor. Would you have taken Panadol before coming here? Will anybody have to sell you Panadol? Will I have to advertise Panadol to you? What will you do? You will buy it. You will find it. You will do anything necessary to get it. What's the difference between both of them? It wasn't really urgent. That's not urgent. If you don't take a multivitamin, you're probably dying. One is a problem. If today something happened to you and you just went to the hospital, I don't know, this is just scratching me. And you go there, they're like, oh my God, you are dying. Like, oh, I'm dying. Yes, you are dying. How did you walk here? Sit down, bros. You are dying. Like, oh my. And they say, oh, you need, God, you know where to survive. Oh boy, you're dying as I'm looking at you now. Only thing you need to survive is every day you must take vitamin C. Vitamin C? Yes. If I take vitamin C, I'll be alive. Yes. Before you wake up in your dream, you drank it, you wake up, you drink it, you have vitamin C in your pocket. Why? Because a problem was created. Don't want to die. So the thing about life is all problems we have the same human problems. They never change. But guess what always changes? The idea changes. The idea must change. So when you fall in love with the idea, so this is constant and this is variable. That's the problem with hugging the idea. That's the reason why I don't like the motivation because I say, hold on to your idea. Because the reason is that the idea will change. The idea must change. Times change will change ideas, but the problems remain the same. Perfect example. Everybody always wants to eat. Hunger, food has been a human problem since the beginning of time. But what we eat has changed. How we eat has changed, right? There were times when the only way to eat was you must farm yourself and cook in your house. That was the only way to eat, right? Or go to your neighbor's house. Then there were clusters, then there were bookers, then there are restaurants. Now there are lounges that sell food. There are fast food joints. There's now delivery of food. You just have an app and they deliver the food to you. What's the same problem? What's the problem? Hunger, right? The problem never changed. But the way to solve the problem evolved. It's like someone tell you that, oh my God, I have an idea. What's your idea? My idea is human beings like to communicate, right? Yes. And we like to talk to each other, yes. And my idea is letters. Say letters, yes. How does it work? Say you take a piece of paper and you write, dear sir, and you write the letter and you fold it, put an envelope, and someone will come and take it from your house and go and deliver it to the person that wrote it to you. Is that a great idea? No, in general, will you solve the problem? You solve the problem now. Won't you solve the problem of communication? But will it work today? Right, so you understand? The same way someone says that, oh, my idea, people want to communicate. My idea is that I will just sit down and I will just think it, and you will just hear it in your head. And you think it and I'll hear it in my head. Is that a great idea? But technology is not, the technology to make that possible doesn't yet exist. So it's possible for an idea to a problem to either be behind time or ahead of time, right? It's very possible. I'll give an example. So Netflix, when the founder of Netflix started some 20 years ago, I guess, his idea was movie streaming online, what we have today as Netflix. But you know how Netflix started? How many of you remember those video shops that we had in those days? You ever go and rent movies? Remember those tapes? You go and rent a film. That's how Netflix started. Netflix started by rentals. The only difference with them was that you were able to order, pay online, and then they'll deliver to you. And then when you finish watching it, they'll come pick it up. Why? Because back then, remember when you go to then it was Yahoo. Yahoo was internet, www.yahoo.com. When you type enter, you go and chill, drink tea, buy bole before the page will load. You see, remember that hourglass? It now loads. You now enter your email address. Sexy girl for real. Was that not what people used to use that in those days? Hot babe, hot chick for reals at yahoo.com. Type your password, press enter, take a stroll again, right? Because the internet was like 1 kilobyte per second, right? It was impossible to stream videos on that. How do you want to stream a video if it's taking you 2 hours to load the page? It was impossible. So his idea was ahead of technology. But when technology caught up with him, then he knew that he had to do that. But what? Again, it was the same problem. People want to get entertained, right? Now, this is the last I'm going to end before we go into real business modeling. And there's one thing that me and Mr. Philip have always constantly fought about, right? Is this constant desire to separate entrepreneurship from creative entrepreneurship, right? And this whole movement about creatives coming to say that tech people are taking all the money, and there is no interest in creatives, and creatives are poor, and I tell them that that's not true. Many times the people that complain about this are, I like to call them purists. You know the purists. So in the creative space, there are people called purists. This is my name for them. They're purists. They are the people that will tell you that Harry Potter is a terrible book, or they'll tell you that Twilight is a terrible book. It was poorly written. Have you seen it? If you meet a very literal person, like literature, they'll tell you no, like this is very poorly written. But guess what? Harry Potter is a $1 billion franchise. Twilight is a $1 billion franchise. Who cares if it's poorly written? The difference between purists, and this is purists in any field, and entrepreneurs, is that entrepreneurs many times are not purists. Some of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world are not perfectionists. They just want things to work. The entrepreneur has realized that the problem is the main thing. And the reason why the problem is the main thing is because of who has it. It's called the customer. So I don't argue with the customer. I give the customer what they want to solve their problem. Very, very simple. This is what the entrepreneur understands. So if you meet a classic entrepreneur that owns a restaurant, guess who goes around to find out if people are okay? Guess who goes around? He's the owner of the, he comes down like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Are you satisfied? Is the food okay? Are you fine? If you have any problems, just let me know. Any problems, let me know. And if you ever go to a restaurant where the owner is the one doing that and you say, oh my God, this food tastes like it's too salty, he will come and say, it's too salty. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Take this back to the kitchen. Why is it too salty? Please, we'll give you a free meal. Any day you come here, we'll give you a free meal. Why? But if you go to a place where the manager is the person that you meet, please, 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 our food is not salty. What do you mean our food is salty? She doesn't have money. That's why she's coming. That's why you will pay. You will pay for this food. What's the difference? The entrepreneur understands that I'm here to deliver a service that's solving a problem for a customer. The purist person says, no, this is how I thought about it. This is how it must be. This is how buildings are created. This is how, right? This is how it is. We don't change for anybody. That's why you write Shakespeare books that nobody buys for years. That is the epitome of literature. And we don't really care. Those of us that read, we don't really care about it. We don't care about Shakespeare. Like, if I read Shakespeare, 2 pages, I'm asleep, right? But 50 Shades of Grey, we'll read it all night. We Jackie like his exam. Like, oh my God, Christian Grey, this guy, a bad guy. And I'll tell you that what a poorly written book. It's a poorly written book, right? It's an amazing book, right? but get my point, right? So as an entrepreneur, drop your idea, drop your ideology, take it, and just throw it away, right? Don't hug it. Hug the problem, love the problem. The problem is what's going to feed you. The problem is what's going to make your business run, grow, expand. That thing that you want to solve for the person. And if you realize that that's why you exist as a business, then guess what? You will love your customer and you want to serve your customer, right? So your business model canvas, now let's go to the next page. It's a 1-page document that allows you to see all the key things about your business and how they interrelate. Everything about your business relates to one another. So on the far end, you have what we call your customer segment. Customer segment is who are you serving? Who are you doing this for? Why are you doing? And you can see it's the most important thing. That's why it's here. It's the first thing you think about. Who are my customers, right? At the middle, you have something called your value proposition. Value proposition is what am I offering to my customer? What am I giving to them to solve their problem, right? Are you with me? Then you have something called your customer relationships. How are you, so in between your customer segment and your value proposition is your customer relationships. The question is, how am I relating to my customers? How am I engaging with them? How am I talking to them? What is that interaction between myself and my customer? Different types of businesses have different relationships that you have with your customer. We'll have some videos that are gonna explain some of these things. Channels is how do I reach my customer? How do I get the service to them? How do they get the service from me? What are my channels of distribution or reaching out to them? Is it a physical, they have to come to my shop, right? Or is it delivery channel? Do I have to DHL it or FedEx it to them, right? That's the channels. Relationship, how am I engaging? How am I interacting? What kind of relationship do I want to have with my customers? Is it a very personal relationship, right? Or is it a very, we are the organization and you are the customer? And it's fine, like whichever one you decide, depending on your value proposition and your customer segment will determine, right? And then as you go into business, you also realize maybe this relationship doesn't work. Maybe I need to be more personal, or maybe this personal doesn't work. Maybe I need to be more aloof, right? But you figure out what works for your type of business. Then you have your key activities. What are the key things you must do for your business to run? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you have to do, right? You must maybe open the shop. You must what? You must bake the cake. You must what? You must deliver the cake, right? So what are the key things? These are your key activities. Then key resources. What are the things you need to put in place to have for you to be able to carry out your activities that create your value proposition that allows your customers to derive value? So you can say everything is linked. Now, when you know what your activities and your resources you need, the activities and resources that you need, you can then say, what are the key partners that are required to deliver this service or this product? Key partners, so it's not everything you have to do yourself. For example, do you know that Jumia and Konga don't have a logistics arm? Do you know this? It's small logistics companies that deliver for Jumia and Konga. I have a friend that runs a logistics company. They deliver like almost like 50% of all Jumia products nationwide. So for them, they are a key partner to Jumia. Even though the bike shows up in your house and it's Jumia on the bike, we're in Jumia that are running that business. It's a totally different business entirely. Right? So what are your key partners? What are the key? So based on the activity, right? Okay, what activities am I pulling into my business model and what activities am I outsourcing to a partner to work on for me? Right? So you figure this out on your key partnerships, right? Then cost. So based off all of this, what are the things I'm going to spend money on? What are the most important things? What's my cost structure? Where are my expenses? Right? I need to pay for rent. I need to pay for diesel. If you're in Nigeria, I must pay for rent and I must pay for diesel. I must pay for internet, right? So I must pay salaries. I must pay for this and that. These are your cost structures. Then your revenue streams. How am I making money back? Where's the money coming from? Right? Are they value-added services? Are they so the value-added means that, okay, so what you really want is cake. So I'll say, okay, I can bake cake for you, but guess what? Say what? You have to have candles on that cake. You know your kids like candles. So candle, each candle is 5 naira. Then I really, okay, add candles. So, but you know, there's one cake that we have that we put chocolate on it, Smarties. You know, those colorful chocolates. Kids love chocolate. If you have to add more chocolate for you, 20 naira. So okay, add chocolate. But you know, we have to carry the chocolate. You have to carry the cake to you. It comes in box. If you don't carry box now, someone can touch the cake and just scatter. Let's put the box for you. Box is 7 naira. Box. Okay, let's add box. But you know you're busy now. When you come and call it, let's deliver the cake to you now. Hey, big man, let's bring the cake to your house. Okay. Delivery is 500. That's called value-added services. So really a cake maker. But inside with the cake come, and you don't have to take it to. You can just make cake for you, I'll give you cake, right? You can come and pick the cake. But if you want candle, want chocolate, one box, one delivery, want this, one this, all of that comes. So that's value. So that's your revenue streams. How am I making money? What are all the ways, channels we can make money, right? So you can see that this is just one page. In one page, you've thought about your whole business. And then so why is this important? That I should now go to the marketplace, you're now trying to implement this. Oh, I think that my customers are children and the value proposition to them is this. Then you now go there and now realize that, oh my God, children are not buying this thing. No. Children don't like it. Maybe it's parents that like it. Maybe it's adults that like it. Maybe it's single people that like it, right? Like when Indomie was made for kids at the beginning, but they realized that, oh my God, bachelors and spins that eat Indomie more than anybody else. Right? So that, okay, maybe children are not my key market segment, right? And then you change, or you say, well, maybe on that market segment just adopted it and they're doing it greatly. It's like Instagram. I was at a meeting where Mark Zuckerberg was saying that they didn't realize that Instagram was going to become the biggest e-commerce company, one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the world. Instagram wasn't built to be an e-commerce company. But guess what? I did a whole project, I renovated an office where all my vendors were from Instagram. Literally, I got a carpenter on Instagram, got a painter on Instagram, I got a rug guy on Instagram, I got everything on Instagram. Instagram has become an e-commerce company. So now you come at your business like, oh my God, maybe our value proposition is not just picture sharing, maybe it's actually commerce, right? But because this is a very simple tool, you can easily scrape things out and change and see how they work, right? And evolve. So this is why this is very, very important to you. It's very easy to change, very easy to modify, very easy to evolve as you're running your business. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Let's watch a couple of videos, and then after each video, we'll have a conversation. Sorry, any questions first before we move on? So far, any questions so far? Any disagreement? All right, I love this. I love disagreement. I love debates. All right, let's go.
This is the structure there. Their friend Carl and an idea they believed could become a great business. It's the story that only succeeded. If you're an entrepreneur or anyone going to a team, you can easily be your story too. See, even if you have a great idea, success is far from sure. That's because for every great idea that shaped our world, seemingly great ideas that are not. In order to succeed, a great business idea is a great business model, and they're not the same thing. Once your idea leaves the world, it will meet customers. They don't care about the problem your idea solves. But even if customers love your value proposition, you can say if your business model is not scalable and financially sustainable. You'll need to find reliable channels to reach and acquire your customers. build an infrastructure that won't collapse as your business begins to grow. Failing to do just one of these things can be death to your business, however great your idea is. That's why, first of all, it's structure the right business model. To learn this role of challenges so it continues to organize, allowing you to explore it, manage it, and plan for it. What if there was a tool that could help you with this challenge, simply and visually? A tool that makes it easier to stress test your ideas, track your progress, and avoid breaking the bank along the way. What if it was possible to design and test business models in a way that gives your idea a better shot at rising to the level of great business to shooting on close? It is, and for the journey for these guys, and for you, it won't be a walk in the park. All you'll need is your creativity, willingness to work, and passion for your idea. We'll give you the rest.
Okay. So I think we have one hand up in the group. What's the person's name? Sule. You're not the person that spoke before? Okay, Sulu.
Yeah. Yes, Sulu, yeah.
You want to say? You had a
Yes, I
question?
wanted. Yes, I did. Yeah, it's on the business model cover.
Okay.
So in that section for revenue, the
Section
revenue
for
stream,
what?
revenue stream.
Yes.
So what I know before is what is there is usually your business model. So I've always been having issues filling that particular section because I understood that it also has to include your revenue model. So I need you to like make more explanation on that. If you get my
Okay,
question.
yeah. So like I said, it's very, very simply, right? Simple. Your revenue streams is how are you making money? How is money coming in? What are the different ways your business now derives value back from the customer? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So
I get
for
that.
example, you can say, so for example, your revenue streams could be maybe you have a subscription basis service where people pay you monthly subscription for something. That's a revenue stream. At the same time, you might have maybe you in your under your cost structure, you probably got an office space where you realize that you're not using all the space that you got, and then you're maybe subletting some part of your office space out. That's still a revenue stream. Maybe on Fridays, you guys are a subscription-based service for food, or maybe you're a subscription-based service that teaches people how to cook. But you realize that maybe on Fridays, you guys have excess food after classes, and you can now start selling that food. What's that called? That's another revenue stream. So revenue stream just says, what are all the ways that your business can possibly derive value out back from the customer? Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes.
All right, cool. But that's what the video will be very explanatory. Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay, so yeah, I get that. I get the revenue stream. But what I'm saying is, under this section where you have the revenue stream, so what I know before is that is where you describe your business model.
No, this whole thing is your business model. The whole document is your business model.
Okay, but there's this other idea about your business model being a subscription, marketplace. Are you familiar with that? Then the revenue model is now the services, subscription, advertising, recurring, and those other type. I don't know if you get my question. I just need to help me balance.
No, so clearly somebody has told you something that is contradicting this. So maybe you just pack everything you know before, right? And let's learn afresh. Can we do that?
Sure.
All right, cool. Okay, so so basically first video is the introduction that I did before. So let's watch the next one.
Okay.
This is the business model canvas. It's just what Beth and Carl will need to craft a powerful business model, and it can do the same for you. Let's dive in and see how it works. There are 9 essential building blocks that make up any business model. If you get all 9 blocks working together, you'll have answered the fundamental questions any business model must solve. Let's start here with customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. Channels describe through which touchpoints are interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the types of relationships you establish with your customers and how you're acquiring and retaining them. Pricing mechanisms through which your business model captures value are documented under revenue streams. The key resources show which assets are indispensable for your business model, so you can describe the infrastructure you need to create, deliver, and capture value. The key activities show which things you need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model. Since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost. Any business model can be like this one. 9 building blocks working to reinforce and strengthen each other. But before you make a model for yourself, it helps to see what a breakthrough business model looks like in action. Like this one. Low-cost airlines revolutionized air travel thanks to their disruptive business model. Let's first look at their value proposition. A low-cost airline offers ultra-cheap flights to their main customer segment, budget travelers, by adopting a no-frills policy. And this leads to additional revenue streams because customers pay for their ticket and additional fees on items like food and drink, priority boarding, and luggage. The airlines save even more money through their choice of channels, selling only through call centers and the internet, making for efficient, if not always convenient, customer relationships to automated and often price. Okay, that covers the right side of the canvas, the part everyone can see. The left side of the canvas is what's going on backstage. Like their choice of key resources, they reduce maintenance and training costs by using a single aircraft model for the whole fleet. And they only fly to cheap airports where it's cost efficient to land or where they even get paid to touch down. Planes that do land have quick turnarounds, so they get back in the air earning money as quickly as possible. And they form key partnerships with others in the travel industry, like car rental, hotel, and insurance companies. Finally, under cost structures, all maintenance, training, airport, and call center costs are trimmed to their lowest levels. All of these pieces working together make their fares almost impossible for traditional airlines to compete with. There's nothing superior about these airlines except their business models. They're reaching an entirely new segment of travelers out of reach of traditional airlines. Cutting out costs is pretty exciting, right? But wait, just because it's successful for discount airlines doesn't mean all work for you. The business model canvas allows you to iterate many models and test them quickly. Let's get started with your own business idea.
Okay, pause. Hey, did you understand how everything works together, right? So I think the best thing I hate trainings and I like workshops. The difference between both of them is I would rather have you work on what we're talking about in real time so that we can actually get feedback from what you think about your own idea, how it works with the tool that we're working on. So do you want to try this out? All right, so let's take 10 minutes you have an idea already. Let's try and figure out, maybe let's just figure out like the first half of the canvas. So what's your customers, your customer relationships, channels, value proposition, and your revenue streams. So let's work on that for your idea and let's talk about it. Okay, yeah. So you don't have to write inside. You can either write inside the canvas itself, or you can just write in your notebook, or just like write the key. So you can like, what's my value proposition? Who's my customer? If the space won't be enough for you to do that, yeah. You know, the example they used is so incredible. Like I used one of the airlines in the US, in Europe. And you can go from one country to another for as low sometimes as 100 euros or less. From one country to another country, that's like 50K. But you don't carry any baggage. You have no baggage, additional baggage stuff. You only have one hand luggage. If you want extra luggage, you pay extra. No food on the flight, nothing on the flight. If you want, literally it's like on the flight, you know the way you go on like Bolue, you travel on buses and then they hawk like Bole or Gala. That's how like the attendant comes to you and says, do you want anything? Anything you take, you pay. You buy Coke, you buy anything, right? But it's super cheap. It's outrageously cheap flight. So, but that's their business model. Okay, there's a hand up in the group and online. It's a Schreiber. It's a Schweib. You can unmute and speak.
Okay. Okay. Is my hand still
Okay,
Hello?
okay, sorry, your hand is okay. You can put your hand down now. Your hand must be paining you right now.
up? Yeah. Apologies.
So remember, we're only working on the first half of the canvas. So from a value proposition, customer relationships, channels, customer segments, and then revenue streams. Let's handle that part first. And if you have any questions as you're doing it, please let me know. Yeah, so everybody's working. They're thinking now, making them think about their business. Hope what? Okay, Blessing is online, right? Definitely. Yes, please. Yes, revenue streams on first part. On this half of the canvas. Yes. Yes, so I think you should be able to copy from the canvas, yes. Yes, sir.
So if the question is, if what you are supposed to identify really is the problem, given that there are so many ideas that come out of it, so ideas are kind of like a dime a dozen. So if it is the problem, how does that translate to our local business? Because quite a number of us say, okay, this is the problem I want to solve. We identify this kind of generic, I want to make clothes, I want to make better hair, I want to provide housing for low-income earners and all that. How does getting that really translate to what, or building a business model around that is successful?
Yeah, so on one hand, I'll start with saying something that you probably haven't said. So a lot of businesses we have in Nigeria are Me Too. Have you heard of Me Too before? Me Too. No? So what's really in Nigeria? What's really in Abuja now is lounges and furniture shops. Have you noticed? Almost every plaza has 2 lounges and 2 furniture shops. Why? Because, oh my God, hey, you're doing furniture. Are you making money? Yes, you're making, man, I'm making money. 2 million. 2 million every month. Hi, just going to go and tell her husband, Halaji, I cannot be at home every day, far. Give me this, what do you want to do? Furniture, Turkish furniture. That's what is raining now. Right? We're going to do Turkish. Me Too. That's what Me Too business. Has nothing to do with the problem. It's just that, hey, you're doing it, you're making money, there's money in it, I'm doing it too. Right? So everywhere, lounge up and down, new lounge launching every day, new. So those are Me Too. They're not necessarily solving any problem, right? All right. But then he said, if you find a problem, the truth is, if you find a real problem, chances are somebody is willing to pay for it. I'll give an example. If someone told you that there was a service that you got and you have 24-hour power supply, uninterrupted, will you go for it? You can say bye-bye to generator, bye-bye to diesel, bye-bye to petrol. Will you go for it? Let's start with the value, right? You go for it, right? But the next thing you ask is how much? How much is it? Now I say, it's 2 million naira. I say, okay, thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. I'll cope with the heat and I'll get back to you. But then immediately you are able to afford it. What will you do? You'll get it. So the truth is, typically what your business model does for you is it allows you to figure out if my customer segment for 24-hour power supply are the middle class or the low income earners, what do I need to do to drive my costs down? And for those airlines, for example, you realize that they drove their costs down because they did some things. I didn't know that airlines waste a lot of money on food. I didn't know this. That a huge part of their cost is that food that they give you in the plane. You say, but it's so small now, what is inside it? The problem many times is they oversubscribe. They buy far more than they need. Because they have to pre-order. And they can't, so imagine if you enter the airline and there were 30 passengers and they only had 20 packs of food. People will vex, right? So they always order with the assumption that they have a full airline, a full flight. So imagine for every flight they have a half flight, that's 40, 30 packs of food wasted. They can't use it again. So that cheap airline that decided that, man, look, this food costs out of our business model. It saved them a lot of money. So the truth many times that for you to be able to, especially when your target is a low income version, you must understand the rudiments of how the business runs typically today. Are you with me? And then based off of that, figure out what will I now do differently to drive the cost down. But guess what also? Your business model doesn't always have to be low cost. Your business model can actually be high cost. I'll give an example. There's this brand today in Abuja that makes kaftans. Their cheapest kaftan, I think, is 100,000 naira. Africana, you know them? 100K. My tailor sews me kaftan with material, 20K. This guy sells his cheapest kaftan, 100K, and he's in business, and he's open in 4 different countries now. Why? 2 things. For me, I feel like he's selling 2 things. One is if you look at their stitching, it's perfect. It's perfection, literally. But the second thing is that they put their logo on it. It's in gold. Anywhere you enter and a man wears Africana, you know that this guy could take 100K to buy a kaftan. It changes the way people look at him. It's the way people wear Prada or wear Gucci or wear Versace. It's not really about the material. It's not more comfortable. It's not more comfortable than my Abba Boy shirt. The difference is that when I show up, you understand, when everybody else is opening door by themselves, when I show up, they open door for me. Say, welcome, sir. Yes, sir, because why? A tip is eminent. A tip is nearby. I can smell tips around here, right? So sometimes is the way VIP segments in clubs is selling what? Prestige. So other people are queuing at the door and you get there and the bouncer say, welcome, sir. And they open door for you and just walk straight to the VIP section. Why? They're going to spend 2 million naira that night. People like to just, that's why Dorime is selling. Why? Because everybody's dancing in the club and then you decide to buy a drink and they off everybody's music and they say, we're delivering this guy's drink. All you gotta know that a big baller is in the club today, and they pass everybody Dorime. Oh, those are products. Those are revenue streams. Dorime is a revenue stream. Dorime is a revenue stream. It's true, because Dorime has made more people to, now people are hustling, people are stealing, people are doing anything they can do to go and Dorime in the club. Right? So whatever it is, you have to, this allows you to say, okay, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make a low-income housing work? Nobody has cracked low-income housing in Africa.
But if you want to write essays that inspire,
What's happening?
messages that forge brighter connections, and emails that
Right? That's not part of this class. We're not forging emails here. All right, anybody wants to share? Anybody that's done? Are you done? Anybody done? No? Okay, sorry. I distracted you, I apologize. Go to the next slide, you go. Let me see. So, okay.
How do we avoid being caught up in the meeting kind of or model of business?
Find a problem now.
Because a lot of people, like rightfully say,
Yeah.
a lot of people are making business from very low.
It's not a wrong, no, me too is not a wrong reason, no.
But you don't know much about it, and then you shut down after a while because you don't.
Yeah, chances are many people that do Me Too business have money already. So
But the business is something that's the question.
it doesn't have to, they have money, it doesn't have to succeed.
But then it's not the business is not bringing anything here.
What you have to understand, Mr. Philip, is that the business itself is a product to the user, to the owner of the business. Do you understand? So think about it. This Alaji is rich. He has a lot of money. Or this man is rich. He has a lot of money. His wife is at home housewife. So he doesn't do housewife again. Okay, open supermarket for her. Let her be going somewhere. He doesn't have to make money. He has enough money. The supermarket can be bleeding money every day, and he really doesn't care. So for somebody else, the business is a distraction. It's not necessarily a money-making venture. So you have to understand why did the person open the business. It's solving a problem. It's solving their problem. It's like recently, schools and parents recently found out that school is not for education. School is to take the children out of the house so that you can have peace of mind and you can do something with your life. It's not true. When COVID hits and they say, we're going to sell you the same education we're selling you before, but now they will stay at home with you. Say, no, we don't want. Come and take them away from the house. Take them away. So many times, just understand what are you really selling?
So are you saying that a successful business is not necessarily one that makes a lot of money? It's just one that, or success in a business is defined by the owner of that business.
Success in life is defined by the goal. Why are you doing it? If you are achieving the purpose, then it's successful. A successful business is supposed to make money. That's what they've told us in business school, right? Businesses are set up to deliver value in exchange for money. So the richer the company is, the more successful it's supposed to be, right? Or the same way they say that your job is supposed to help you make money. So the more money you make on your job, the more successful you are supposed to be, right? But there are people who are making so much money and are having mental health issues that they really being more successful. Really? So it's a very philosophical debate, right? So for me, I think that a business is successful if it's achieving the goal of the founder, right? So whatever the founder set up the business to do, if it's achieving that, then it's successful. I'll give an example. The company I work in, my founder doesn't care about profits. It's an 18-year-old business. Last year we made 12 million euros. but he doesn't care about profits. So every year we make 12 million euros and we spend almost everything. He personally cares about his employees. Are my employees happy? Are they excited? So we built a company that everybody loves to work in. He cares about partnerships. Are we helping other people make money? Are our friends happy? Are our partners happy? So for him, he's running a very successful business. But his accountant like, our profits are very low. He said, no problem. Who cares about profits? Right. So if you don't understand the goal of the founder, you will just be fighting an aimless battle. Do you understand? Like, sir, we need to make more money. Say no. Say, sir, do you know if we can cut employee salary by 50% and we'll actually make more money? It's like, no. Can we increase employee salary by 50%? That's what he wants. That's what he's thinking about. That's what excites him. You get. So, all right. Who wants to share? Okay. You want to share? Okay.
So let me just start by saying there are so many people who do this business. The problem that I found is that Nigerian universities don't usually take, some Nigerian universities don't usually take large percentages for students, also because they do not have a physical structure to attend them and all of those stuff. So you can be at home for 4 years, like myself, with your foundation, and be really depressing. Another problem is that even if you enter the school, try to learn money for every corner. And they also do not make these courses, and the lecturer will have stop to some people's mental health. I have friends who have dropped out of school just because of lecturers. So I decided to create a business where our application rather than this. I have friends who can build websites and applications where people can learn from the comfort of their homes. Now you just don't learn and get it free. You can also learn skills. Let's say, for example, you are someone who loves to do stuff that people would not really consider sophisticated. You want to learn how to be a camera, but you don't want to go to YouTube and all of this stuff. So you can have a tutor on the website that can teach you any of the first things to write to them. And there is the stigmatization against people who are old and universities or schools generally. So we can go as far as teaching you ABC this, even though you are 40 years old. And this is the first segment. So my customer segments will be the ASU victims and people who like to drink. My value proposition will be giving knowledge of the company.
Okay, so when you, sorry, I'm just going to give feedback as you go. So nice problem, right? Your problem is very, very valid. In fact, your problem is the reason why Nigeria is funding almost 50% of the whole of UK's educational system and a huge part of Ukraine and Cyprus educational systems. Because really, someone did the statistics recently, it blew my mind, that all Nigerian universities combined can only take about 10%, actually 9-point-something% of all the graduates of secondary school. So there are 90-something% of people don't get into school not because they failed, just because there's no capacity to take them. All the schools, all plus private universities, all of them combined cannot scratch the surface of what we require to educate all the people that come out from secondary school, right? So that's a very, very valid problem, right? And there are statistics to back it. But your solution is where I'm now thinking. So you want to build a platform that allows people to learn, right? Have you thought about, but these are things you need to think about as you now go into because as you go into the business model, as you go into the business, you now start realize that, hey, maybe people are not just going to school for education. Maybe, I don't know, right? Maybe there are other barriers to people actually learning online. Maybe people can't keep their attention spans. Maybe they can learn from home because it's tedious to just sit down and take a class, right? If you're in school, you must go to class and sit down because they must mark attendance, right? So what can I do? What can I add? And those are when you're building your product, right? But also, what are the limitations? Are they like internet? Do people have enough internet to actually sit down and watch a video from scratch to finish, right? Or how else can we deliver that same thing? Then if it's already on YouTube, what makes mine different? Like, why would I choose to learn akara making on your platform rather than YouTube? Am I willing to pay to learn how to make akara? I don't want to call my mommy and say, "Mommy, I'm about to make akara. Tell me, what do I do now?" Right? Text it to me, or I'll stay on the phone on WhatsApp call, which is like, if I have data plan already, it's probably free. And I can just stay on the call and my mom will walk me through making akara. So you have to, so these are the key questions you ask, right? But it only happens when you now begin to implement and you're like, okay, so then, you know, customer segment, don't just say, you've generalized in very massive markets. So you want to be as granular as possible. So you can say Nigerians between the age of 14 to maybe, you know, like people who finish school typically around like when they're 15 years old, right? Or 16. So say Nigerian between the age of 17 to 24, right? This is one market segment. Another market segment might be the older people that are saying, okay, somebody didn't go to school when they were younger, so you can say people between ages of this to this, right? Or you want to say that upper middle class or lower. Why you want to be as granular as possible is because when you're granular, it allows you figure out your relationships and your channels, right? Because in your relationships, it talks about how do you want to relate to your market, but also how do you want to reach your market, right? In terms of communicating to them. And all your market segments are not on the same channels. Right, like someone that wants to try and send messages to millennials on Facebook. Fail. Right, millennials are not, Generation Z are not on Facebook. Right, that's one of Mark Zuckerberg's biggest problems, is that all Generation Zs have left Facebook, and now they're even teaching Instagram. Right, so how do we get Generation Z? So, but if you want to get the older people that didn't go to school, they're on Facebook. Right. and on newspaper, no, like the artwork is really pretty. They're on Facebook and they're on Jigget and they're on newspaper. So when you really are granular by your customer segment, it allows you to be more detailed your relationships and your channel. Cool. All right, let's continue.
The second value proposition would be degree awarding courses.
Degree what? Okay.
I want to make these websites or this platform affiliated with some universities, like the School of Angels, National Institution. They are under the University of Wales because
they can't give you any certificate by themselves. Exactly. They're not accredited. Yeah.
And sophisticated and non-sophisticated.
So that thing you've said about that degree now is it's under your key partnerships. That's going to be on the later part of this canvas. Right. So you now know that, okay, for me, for this degree, for this learning to be any valuable, I need to be able to give a certificate. And I can't go through the process of getting my license myself. So I'm just going to partner with schools to accredit my courses. Right. So you can do that. Okay, cool. It's like, I think who does that? I think Coursera also, Coursera does that same thing where you can see a course and, you know, the certificate for this course is coming from this university. The university donated the course to Coursera and will certify that course. Right. So yeah, so it's a model that already does exist. Okay.
I tend to make my personal relationship personal as well. I used to people's emotions, I used to have very being able to focus, even with education stuff like that. So we try to become a special.
Okay, so if you want to be personal, so just questioning, right? Is this scalable? You're solving a massive problem where you are attacking like a market base of 2 million, 3 million, 10 million people. How do you want to be personal with 10 million people?
Personally, I would have people.
That means you need 10 million people. You have to think about, like, is it going to make sense in my business model, right? Because you're going to have a huge employee cost. So you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be like, is it really practical? Like, then your cost is going to go really high, and then it's not going to make sense for me to be paying this so much for an online education. You understand me? So you have to realize, like, if you're doing, so typically personal relationships work for premium services. Ostentated services. Like the way if you buy a Rolls Royce, it comes with your name on it. Toyota cannot try that; they would die. I mean, cars, Toyotas they make every year. They can't try customizing Toyota. But Rolls Royce only makes like 100 a year, so they can actually say, "Okay, we'll write your name on the Rolls Royce." It comes with whatever. Like there's so many services that come with buying a Rolls Royce that is just incredible, right? But Toyota can't try it. They can't put it into a business model. That business model will break. So many times that customized service can only happen when you are in an ostentated class. Like there's this hotel I worked in as a kid, where so as a butler and as a butler for a certain class of guests, And that guest, like I'm assigned to them alone. So I have their dossier. I know who they are, where they're from, what they eat, what they like to drink, what time they eat. Do you understand? I know everything about them. So when they come in, I greet them by name. Hello, Mr. Swartz. How are you doing today? Welcome to this thing. I know you like a hot towel is already in the room. Is anything more you would like? Would you like a Coke today? I know you liked Coke the last time. We stock your fridge with 5 bottles of Coke, but if you need any more, like he feels like, oh my, like I know you. Before you cough, if like, yes, are you still coughing? Okay, so I'm going to order you a cough syrup immediately. I know you're allergic to this and this. So I've already got, like, do you understand? Like I have a dossier on the person. Grand Cubana can't try that. Do you get a night there like $10,000? They can afford, and it's only 30 rooms. We can afford to know every freaking client. We can afford it. You get, but Ibro Hotel will just die if they try that rubbish. You get? So you have to realize that in you think about business, automation works with crowd. Personalization works with luxury, with premium service. Like that's what people are paying for. They are paying not to think, not to stress their head. They know me before I get there. You understand? Everything's already set. I'm not looking for. I'm at their door 24 hours. As I'm changing shift, somebody else comes to come and stand at their door, just in case. If you just open the door, there's somebody there. Yes, how can I help you, sir? Do you need anything? We are calling reception. Reception is not picking the call, right? Like so you just understand how that works in terms of relationships. Oh, all right, cool. Continue. Internet. Okay. What do you mean by internet? Internet is broad. Is it social media? Is it what website? Is it what part of the internet is it? Is it website, right? Situation. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Something to take a look at if you really want to do this, right? There's this people called, what's the name? It's a new university, Nest University. Nest, I think, yes, Nest. You've seen them, right? They have this yellow logo. They created an MBA program that is subscription based. When I said that business model, I said, like, man, this is mind blowing. What does it mean? It means that you know how long it will take you to finish your MBA. But with 20,000 or so, 10,000 naira a month, you can sign up for MBA. Everybody knows that MBA is expensive. So what are they doing? They said, okay, we want to target a group of people that want to get an MBA, but can't afford to get an MBA, but MBAs are expensive. We also want to target people that think that they need to stop their work to go and get an MBA. Now you can get an MBA while you're working. So it's easy to pay, flexible, at your own pace, and you get a certified MBA. So if it takes you 3 years to do your MBA, that's your business. Subscription is reading. If it takes you 2 days in 1 month with 20K, you get your MBA. So it depends on you. How available are you? How long does it want to take you? And you can do it, right? So that was somebody thinking about. There's a lot of people who are not getting MBAs, not because they can afford it. And let's create a way. So you need to think a little bit more in depth into really, really, really what are the challenges. What are the challenges? But sometimes when you launch, you start seeing those things. What are the challenges my customers are facing with accessing my product? And then that's why the business model is very easy. You can just start making some changes, right? I should go on the long. Okay. Who else wants to share before we watch the next video? One more person, Mr. Schweib. Mr. Schweib, I'm not taking you again. You're not the only person in this class. We want other people to talk. Yes, we want other people to talk. I'm not taking you again.
Do you want to enter the camera?
Yes, I want to enter the camera. Come on. No, we are not taking you again. You're not talking in this class, in next class. I'm joking.
Please.
I'm joking. Let's take one leader and then we'll, if nobody else is online, we'll take you. If somebody else is, we'll prioritize them over you. This is inclusion.
It's fine.
Well, I'm happy you're very active and engaged, so please don't. I'm just joking. All right. What's the problem?
Like women, pregnant women, and after the duration of pregnancy. The problem of solving is creating and 3-in-1 alternative clothing, the most optional alternative clothing that can be worn during pregnancy, and post-pregnancy for breastfeeding purposes. So key partners.
No. You're not there yet. Who's your customer?
My customer, middle class Nigerian women of childbearing.
Okay, that are already having children or before they have children.
Of very age, like from so far, I don't know, from age 20, because if I want to be pregnant, but if you're fashion conscious, you don't want to buy that. So I'll say maybe married, when you're married.
Okay.
And nice.
All right. What are your customer relationships? How are you relating with them and how are you reaching them?
Okay, I'll be reaching them on social media.
Okay.
Through adverts and customer service.
Okay, is it the phone calls? Is it emails? Is it?
And phone calls.
Okay.
But with what I have in mind, it is very difficult following up with phone calls.
So it's just going to be like is it e-commerce site? You just go there and buy.
E-commerce sites just go there and buy.
Okay, cool. So what are your channels? How are you reaching them?
Okay.
Do you have stores? Is it just order online and we deliver to you? How does that work?
No, it can be stocked. Retail fashion store, like
Okay.
retail maternity.
So they're going to have stores around?
Yes. It's not started yet.
I know, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about how is it going to work? Like, is it because these days there are Instagram shops that don't have any physical location ever, right? It's just online. In fact, they don't have any address. Online, you order, we deliver to you, and we're fine. I have a sister that has an online store and she has no physical location anywhere, right? But that's her model. And that model is, you walk into the store, experience the product, you want to test it out, you want to try it out, right? I don't know. So what's your model?
3 ways. You can be at comfort of your order online from our website. You can go to any maternity store that stock product designs and you want that particular one. You can get it. Then you can also come into our own store, try it out there, and you can get it too.
Okay. All right. So cool. So how are you making money?
Sales of maternity.
Okay. So all you're selling is just the clothes itself.
Clothes.
Okay.
And revenue stream, there will also be sales of maybe clothing from 0 to 3 months. And when I'm buying, that's when you're already pregnant and you sit down for you're buying for yourself. You can see maybe a really cute maybe good boy or girl.
Okay.
I want that time to my like that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks. All right. Anybody online wants to share before we give the floor to Schweib? Anybody? No. All right. Schweib, over to you. Blessing, I thought you want to talk. All right, Schweib.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh.
Okay, can I go?
All right, I'm listening.
Okay, great. So I'm an entrepreneur in the circular economy space.
Okay.
And we deal with what you consider as waste, we see it as resources. So
Okay.
So the value proposition is we are supplying the guys that make use of this waste to produce new materials, new products, quality processed materials, which we call recyclables. Then the model, the operations that we intend to employ is going to be completely green. Means that
no, wait. Let's start. So your value proposition is that you help recycling companies to access recyclables?
Yes. And
okay, so
the process. Please go ahead.
So that's what you provide. So what do you provide them with? Is it the raw plastics or do you already pre-process it or what?
Yes. So it's just process for them to be able to now convert to other materials.
Okay. And then so your customer segments are definitely recycling companies.
Yeah, so there are two segments with that. So there is the supply and the demand side.
Okay.
So the supply side is the recycling so the supply side are the post-consumers, the factories, because we have post-industrial waste and the waste pickers.
Okay. So I didn't get that. What do you mean the post-consumers? What's that?
Okay, so post-consumer is me and you.
Okay, so how are we your customer? We bring the plastic to you.
So I come to get it from you. So in exchange
so on one hand, okay. So you have like a two directional approach or business. So on one hand, somebody's bringing you the plastic, or you're getting the plastic from someone, right?
Yes, yes. And I
Okay,
get
but would
value
you
from that.
consider will you consider me your customer if you're collecting plastic from me? Or are you into waste disposal? Are you like my person that disposes my waste?
So the thing is, yes, you are my customer because I'm not disposing your waste. I'm not the PSP guys. I'm only concerned
What service are you
about.
providing to me as a customer?
So the service what I'm providing to you is earning from your waste. So I help you to earn from your waste.
You help me earn from my waste.
So I help you to so I help you to make money from your waste. So because as a post consumer, you don't have as a post consumer, you are not really apart if not for the whole being responsible being a responsible consumer. You don't really care
cool. I get
about this.
Okay, so cool. And then, but the companies are the people who you're giving the plastic that you collect from me to, right?
Yes, yeah, those are the
Okay, so how do you?
demand side.
What are your channels? How do you reach both your two customer segments?
Okay, so for the supply side, so what I do is I do what's called direct marketing. So I can, for instance, to narrow down and be cost effective, I deal with estates and companies. So I do direct marketing, like I engage with.
So you do
the
offline.
gatekeepers.
So you're offline. You're going there physically to talk to them.
Yes, and also definitely online as well.
Okay, and then how do you yeah, continue.
Therefore, the demand side, the recyclers,
Yeah.
so, I also engage them by sharing sample of our product with them.
So offline, physical engagement.
Both actually, both, because most of these organizations now are also buying my brand online.
Well, how do you share with them your products online?
Online, sure, via videos. So I do videos, then you engage me, then we'll have to start the conversation offline.
Okay, how do you make money?
So great. So I make money from sales of these recyclables. So I do more than just recycling. I also do upcycling. So which are into what we call all these luxury products like arts. So I also sell to art lovers too, as well as international donors and grantors. Because for me, being sustainable, being green, there are some international organizations that are interested in supporting me to grow.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks so much for sharing. Yeah, don't share.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. One more, so we'll take you, and then we're almost out of time. We'll watch remaining videos. So typically, this session is supposed to be like 4 hours or 5. No, you will not mind. I mind. Have you asked me if I mind? I'm the customer here. Do you know if I mind? you don't mind. No, I'll leave you here with Mr. Philip. You will share with him and he'll give you feedback. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Okay, what's the problem you're trying to solve?
I'm trying to solve the problem of convenience or such freelancers and options as well.
Okay, that's it.
Now, the difference between what I am trying to do and what is already obtainable is that I want to make it a micro site for really happy people other than just professionals.
Do you know how many people have tried this?
I don't think so. And I don't think I want to actually.
No, you want to, because you want to make new mistakes. Have you ever make new mistakes before?
Yes, I want to know how many people have tried it.
And you want to know what they tried.
I want to know why.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm just saying, like, this is not the class where we're proving the idea itself, right? But before you want to do anything, right? It's really a big problem. That something like your problem is a big problem, right? This is also a big problem. I need a carpenter. Where do I get one? I need but because it's a big problem, many people have tried to solve it before, and many of them have failed. So the question really is why? What did they do? So I'm not doing so, because everybody always thinks they're a genius. Oh my God, I cracked it, right? But like, no, they tried it 20 years ago. It did not work. So you have to know, okay, why maybe tried it, and it's possible they tried 20 years ago and it did not work. And maybe it's a technology that didn't exist before. now has made it possible for that thing to work now. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there was a cultural shift that happened that now made it possible for it to work now, right? For example, if anybody told us 20 years ago that Nigerians will sell online on Instagram, I did not see it. I paid money. And they even told me that it takes 3 days to deliver. I'll pay my money. Then they will not deliver it in 3 days. They lie. I'll see it, touch it, feel it, use it, then pay. Right? But what happened? MMM came and changed our culture. People would actually send 500,000 naira to some guy account number on a website, and hope that they will match him to 3 people that will pay you back his money. God, hey, MMM changed our culture, changed our culture of trust, changed it entirely, right? And made it possible for this to happen. Okay, so I'm just saying, right? Okay, so good. So your value proposition is, I want to help you find microservices, like Instacart, like yeah, okay. And then your customers.
Also visibility for the creators.
Okay, who are your customers?
Well, basically anyone who wants services, and there are lots of people like that.
So don't generalize your market, because even though your market, even at scale, your business will service everybody. You want to start with a niche market, right? So for example, Facebook now services the whole world, but where did it start? From an Ivy League. In fact, at the point it was one school, it was only Harvard. Then from Harvard, and that's okay, only Ivy League universities. Other universities were just dying. When would this thing come to us? So hey, when now from universities, everybody poor. You know, so because you also don't want to do something that you have so many people, you can't reach any one market segment, right? So you want to say, okay, I'm targeting stay-at-home moms who need a handyman. Do you get? And that's your target. So you are communicating directly to them. As you attack that market, you can then begin to sort of grow and accept more markets, and then your messaging can be a little bit more generic. But there's something they always say that it's better for a few people to love your product than for many people to like your product. Why? The few people that love your product become evangelists of your product. Those people will talk about your product for free anywhere, right? So you want to target a small segment of people, hammer them, serve them in a way that they love it, and they will now be the avenue for you to scale, right? So be more specific with your market segment. Good. How do you want to relate to them and reach them?
Well, because of what the size might be, or they're looking to be,
okay, cool. And then, but also just to know this again, right? So when you're starting, sometimes we tell to do things that don't scale at the beginning, because the key thing at the beginning is that you want to collect data. Data is your biggest friend at the beginning. Data on your customer. You want to as many touch points as possible to know, what does my customer love? What do they want? And how do I serve them better, right? So at the beginning, you might start a non-scalable model at the beginning. So for example, for you that you want to maybe target, if you say target housewives, right? It might be better for you to do a personalized model at the beginning. It's not scalable. But you know, I'm going to get only 100 customers at the beginning, but I want to learn from them. I want to know why, what happened? Where's your husband? Why you getting a handyman, right? A single mother, like what do you really need? What are your concerns when you get a handyman? Are you scared that they might steal from you, or they might rape you? Might just like, so you understand, okay, if the person is afraid of this, maybe what we can do is maybe we don't send a handyman alone. Maybe we send a handyman and a lady who is supervising the work so that the woman feels more comfortable, right? Like what are the things that we have put in place? People are afraid that maybe the handyman will break my equipment, maybe insurance might work. So at the beginning, your more personalized service is not because that's your model, but it's because you want to learn as much that you can then, when you scale, you know your customer so much better, right? Just putting it out there. All right, cool. How do you make money? Commissions, okay.
So payment should be done in escrow. Once the customer can certify that, oh yes, I've been served, and I will serve well, and release payment.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so just some key things that we learned from this session, just because if we didn't do this exercise, all the other things I added now, we would have not known to add them, right? So one, your customer segment be as detailed as possible. Pick specific customer segments. Don't just generalize that everybody needs my product. Yes, we know that, but start a pilot with a particular market segment, right? Remember, it's better for a few people to love your product than for many people to like your product. So you want to target the first set of few people that would love your product and become evangelists of your product, right? Remember again that always think about, has this been done before, and what happened to the last person that did it, right? Don't just think that I'm a genius. Oh my God, God has not given that idea to anybody else. A lie. Like I was working on something. I'm doing not for profit, and we were literally like, man, this is really great. This is novel. And then I go to speak to someone, and like, oh my God, this is a major problem I'm trying to solve for years. And then I'm trying to register my domain, and there's exactly the same domain, the same ego, and they're doing exactly the same thing. Like I was doing that, and I've been doing it for like 5 years. Like what? Do you understand? So don't think. I would say don't assume you're a genius. Don't assume that you're the only smart person in the room and everybody else is an idiot, right? Like just think about the fact that whoever tried to do this before, they were smart and they really thought they cracked it and they were optimistic as you. But what happened, right? If you have the opportunity to actually talk to a founder like that, you want to know like what really went down, right? And you're like, and you might just realize that, I don't want to do this. I didn't know it's that hard. Thank you very much. Then we're going to do something else. But just know that, right? And then remember, your customer relationships is how you want to relate, but also how you want to reach them. Remember, again, typically at the beginning, you might want to do something that doesn't scale, but later on you change the model. Also remember that for mass, you want to do automation because it's just so much easier. And then for premium, you want to do personalized, customized, because people that are richer just want to feel special, right? They don't want to feel like everybody else. Hence, Dorime. Remember again, channels is how you're reaching them, right? So either they're coming to you or you're going to them, whichever one works. These days, people like you to come to them and they don't want to leave their houses because people are getting lazy. All right, so remember again, revenue streams is all the ways you make money. Also think creatively. What more can I add? So for example, this lady added that, okay, I know that if I'm selling things to pregnant women, guess what's gonna happen to pregnant women? They will give birth. So maybe we should add something else for birth, for childbirth, right? So just think about what more, how can I even break it's like Apple have decided that they want to broken their programs, everything. The first thing they said, okay, we will no longer do earphone jack with our phones. Bah. Now they will sell you phone without earphone inside. Techno is still selling people phone with earphone. Apple said that they want to sell you phone with earphone. You now go and buy earphone. But guess what? When you buy normal earphone, you still need the adapter to use it on your phone. Or you go and buy AirPods. You understand? Like, oh my God, like why? Do you want to sell everything to me? Right? So sometimes you break stuff so you can say, okay, I'm making money in all these different ways. But what sometimes that does for you, that it now makes your own pure service cheaper. Right? So for example, the airlines, I said, you really want to fly. Well, many people don't eat airplane food. I don't eat it. I never eat it, right? Airpiece, whatever they give me, I don't always carry it and drop it in the hotel or dash the guy at the doorman at the hotel. I never eat it. So if Airpiece can tell me that, you can get 10,000 naira discount off your flight because you will not take food, please remove the food. Let me fly. You get? Oh, really now? Which one's that? Great. So that's the model of very cheap airlines, right? So strip all the rubbish that we don't want. Do you understand? Just take them away. Like those airlines who don't have first class, there's no class. It's just one straight plane. Because really, how many people are in first class? Really, if you think about it, right? So that's their own model. So just think about how can I make, and that's again, if you're going on the price route, what can I strip from it to just get the core thing that people really want to do, right? Great. Okay, so let's watch the next few videos and then we'll have a last discussion before we end.
Business model like a story of how your enterprise will create, deliver, and capture value. And like a story, it can be one you've heard over and over before. For instance, you can start with what most people are fixated on, the value proposition. Travel for retirees. Then decide who you can sell it to. Yeah, bullets. Sketching how you get it to them. Okay, your website. And how that will generate revenue. Sure, sales fees. You'll make it easy and automated. Next, you figure out what key resources you need to offer all that, like a reliable website with brand recognition. Carl's thinking these key activities will be marketing, website, and maintenance. And then partners will do the cooking. And finally, where your costs will come from. Sales, marketing, platform development.
You moved to the airport, you go.
Your first model. Don't expect a medal or a breakthrough. Traditional models can work, but rarely give you a competitive advantage. So don't fall in love with your first idea. To compete in a world with example, prototype a model and give away the value proposition for free. This will instantly change everything. You might not find this model realistic, but it's working to force you to get higher amounts.
I brought up the second one. Sorry, guys.
Why is it keep switching?
Prototypes to consider with your team. Who knows?
You might wind up with a disruptive model that changes an entire industry, like Skype, that's screening model, or Espresso, which became a multi-billion-dollar business by the efforts of high-margin espresso capsules. In fact, understanding capitalism or simply successful business models in other industries can start getting to your way. There's no right or wrong way to do it, just 3 rules to start. First, focus on the business model, not just your product, technology, or service. Second, don't fall in love with your first models. The best models are built on clever, unexpected elements, and that comes from creating many less obvious versions, which leads to the third rule. Iterate rapidly and test your models early, in the real world. How do you do that? Don't worry, guys. We're about to learn all about the real world beyond our campus.
So you got some things like make sure the obvious models and any kind of I want to do this and I'm going to use the channel, I'm going to do this and I'm going to what's really unique about it, like I said, don't think you're a genius, but a lot of people have tried the obvious thing and the obvious thing didn't really work. Like if anybody ever told you that you could travel from one country to another country for 50K, right? Or even, and that you wouldn't figure out a way to drive that cost low, like impossible, but someone is doing it, right? So think about what other thing can I do? Like when they said, can you give out your value proposition for free? Really, how is that possible? But I'll make you think, how if I gave that for free, what would I get people to pay for? I think like there's some courses on Khan, or I'm not sure which of these online platform, but the course is free. The certificate is what you pay for, right? Right. So the course itself is free, but so if you want to just learn, we want to encourage you to learn. But if you want to tender it as I did this course to get a job, then you're gonna pay for a certificate, right? So but that's a really innovative model. So you just keep thinking like, what else can I do to make this really work? I know a guy that he's doing online learning, but I realized that internet is a big problem for Nigeria. So what happens when you sign up? They send you a flash drive. The flash drive has all the courses on it. So you learn literally offline, but then you come online only to take your tests, right? So what it is doing is sort of changing the dynamics of the model. But then when you do something like that, then you have new problems. For example, if I send it to you for free, then how about if you copy all my videos and start mass producing my courses, right? So you have to encrypt the flash drive, right? So with new ideas or new models, you have to start thinking about new problems will come up, and you have to figure a way to crack those problems. But remember, the more obvious models, everybody would have thought about it. You need to figure out what is really going to be the unique thing I'm going to bring into the mix, right, to make this really work. Cool? All right, next video. He was on the airport. Rowan, start from the beginning again.
But the world out there is full of threats, constraints, and opportunities beyond your control. Remember the chaos our idea faced before you made canvas? Retain some of it by making the elements that are mostly within your control. But the world out there is full of threats, constraints, and opportunities beyond your control. They create the environment in which you'll design and build your business model, and in which your business will find its survival every day. Just because you can't control these factors doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't account for your model. Doing so will help prepare your model for threats, radiate the changing legal constraints, and prime it to jump on innovations. Let's see how that environment will effectively the travel agency model. On the right, you'll map market forces, everything related to the customer segments you selected. Ask yourself, which other segments are there? Which ones are the most lucrative? Looks like that to discover the segment of grooming for the range of disposable wealth. You could ask, which segments are growing and what do they most want? And why might your customers resist? Okay, good. Boomers have trouble adapting to new technology. Now, load your canvas, map key trends. A new technology is about to undercut your value proposition or signature objective. What regulations are coming up? How is society at large shifting? Right now, rising medical costs could weigh heavily on your
customers. Now to the left, industry forces. Who are your main competitors? What advantages do their business models provide? Could they crush you? Your industry may already have a dominant competitor, but ask yourself, where are their weaknesses? Can you disrupt them? What might happen if suppliers and partners of old or don't? Better to know now that the travel fields are hard and volatile, right, Carl? Finally, below your canvas and macroeconomic forces, how's the global economy doing? Markets may be in a stage of rapid uncertainty. How available is capital? Venture capitalists may be taking few risks. How well is the infrastructure developed in the market you're doing business in? Sure, many boomers are experiencing this kind of business standards. Now you've mapped your environment full of threats, opportunities, and constraints. What do you do? Use the map, of course, to make your business model more responsive. Looking at industry forces on the left side of your canvas, ask, does your model have a competitive edge to strength tomorrow? Good thinking, Ben. A dominant competitor could be a threat. Looking at key trends on the top of your canvas, ask, is your model prepared for emerging trends? Okay, if rising medical costs encourage food treatment, that could be an opportunity in your travel agency. Operate from market forces. Is your model in line with evolving customer needs? Sure, your customers are resistant to the internet. You're right to rethink delivery through a website. And below the macroeconomic forces, how will your model adjust to macroeconomic shifts? Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, travel is becoming a luxury that a growing number of your customers can't afford. But don't be overwhelmed by these elements. Asking and answering these questions will help make your business model better suited to its environment and that much more likely to succeed. Now you're ready to start testing your model in the real world.
Okay, so see that some of all the other questions I was asking showed up all around the canvas, right? What's happening in the market, what's happening in the world, what are the key trends, what's happening in the industry, because there are a lot of other things you need to start thinking about, right? For example, e-learning is going through a huge struggle because internet is expensive, people don't have computers, right? Computer is a luxury, smartphone is a luxury already, computer is even a higher luxury. So how would more of the people that you're trying to target even be able to even afford to buy a laptop or buy a smartphone or be able to access your courses, right? So that all the other things you're thinking about all around your business. People didn't see COVID coming, right? But COVID changed a lot of things. So that would have affected your business model. People that are doing in-house dining in many countries are literally have to pivot their business models entirely because physical spaces are now really constrained and people can't really come together. So these are all these things are stuff you need to consider and how my business would respond to other things all around the model. Cool. All right, I think one last video or two. How many more videos? Two more? I think there are 6. Have we seen prove it? No? Okay, let's see prove it.
All right, you've got your model, you made your best guess. It's time to fail. I know it's hard to hear, but even your most promising prototype is pretty certain to fail. Many of your hypotheses are bound to be wrong.
You will press pause.
The canvas makes it easy to adapt, as long as your mistakes are cheap.
All right, so Nigerians particularly, we've been trained not to fail, right? From secondary school, primary school, your parents ask you, you became second, who came first? The best have 2 heads. You understand? Look at, can't you see John? Can't you see Mama Teresa's son? Can't you see, do you understand? Everything was so afraid to fail. But entrepreneurship is a failing game, right? It's not bad to fail. Like I said again, make sure you're making new mistakes. So if somebody already made a mistake before, don't make the same mistake, right? But you want to go out there and quickly try. And this brings me to the second one, that thing I like to tell entrepreneurs. When you start, don't put a lot of money in. This is one problem. This is also why a lot of people hog the idea. So imagine this young lady now decided that, oh my God, Nigeria, 90% of them don't, and she's going to go and spend 5 million naira building one e-learning platform. She now launched it, and then people are not coming. You come, My you will, do you understand? Or someone that comes and tells her that, oh, this is nice. Only if it was red, it's blue. It will be blue. You will use it as blue. 10 million. You get to attach because you spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money on it. You can't make changes. So always figure out a way to start low budget, right? Because things will change. Low budget and a way that it can actually change, in a way that you can really make some changes. So at the beginning, instead of building a website, maybe instead of paying someone to go build you a massive web, maybe you can use Wix to do it yourself. With 3,000 Naira a month, you can start paying a subscription. Anything you want to, you can change it there, right? It's easy to change. So there are lots of DIY tools that you can use. Instead of going to go and get a graphic designer that will charge you 200, you can use Canva. I've noticed all of us here that are doing presentations to you. I've been using Canva to present to you. Right? Canva, drag and drop, make flyer. Right? It might be terrible. Yes, every great product was once terrible. Every great product. Can you remember Facebook version 1? It was bad. I'm sure even Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh my God, I don't associate with that brand. Right? It's always terrible. The first version is always terrible. Don't be afraid for it to be terrible. Right? Someone said, if your product is perfect, then you shipped it too late. By the way, there's a book you guys should all read. It's called The Art of the Start. By a guy called Guy Kawasaki. Yes, just Art of the Start. He's not Robert Kiyosaki. No, his name is Guy. No, but they are both Japanese. Kawasaki. It's a book that breaks down how to start anything. Right? So it really helps. So my point is, don't wait until it's perfect. Take it out there. Be ready to fail and iterate as you go on. Always make, as you're testing it, you're learning, you're making changes, you're learning, you're making changes as you go on, right? All right, cool. Last one. Oh no, sorry. Please continue. I forgot. I haven't watched it.
See, the only judge of a business model is your future customer. What you've created so far are just hypotheses, guesses that need to be true for your business model to succeed. You have to test these hypotheses. Fail or succeed, learn, then adjust. This process is known as customer development and lean startup. Begin by explicitly stating the most important hypotheses underlying your business model. Okay, you believe that boomers create custom travel experiences that are tailored to their needs. That a great brand can overcome a dominant competitive advantage. Great. Now get out into the world and see if you're right. You can conduct low-cost experiments to test your most important hypotheses. Talk to your distributors, potential
Last time at the training, can I call you once I'm done, sir?
talk to your prospective customers.
Okay, sir. Once I leave the class, I'll call you, sir.
The idea of overseas travel might be stressful for your customers. Money could be a concern, or it might just be a general lack of interest. Yes, knowing that overseas travel is not attractive to many of your customers feel like a major setback. But what you learn in the field also leads you to unexpected opportunities, like the fact that retirement is cheaper overseas. And this might lead you to modify your original idea in favor of something new. As you gain confidence with the model, you should intensify testing. You'll succeed in some ways, but you'll fail in others because there will always be factors that you can't foresee from your offers. If you adapt your algorithm cheaply, you can account for these factors. Solutions like quality assurance and high standards might be easier to implement through retirement village franchises. The more you test, the more you learn, the more your model matures. It's time to start thinking about business models in a revolutionary new way. The era of a fixed business plan is over. To compete today, you need an evolving business model. And to document your ambition, you can lay out your canvases on clipboard, a valuable documentation of your increasingly viable business model. Now your business model is not just a bunch of guesses. You've tested, adapted, your business model is now likely to succeed. You're ready for the next step. It's time to pitch your model.
Awesome. Okay. So again, don't hold on to anything, right? Test it and see how it goes in markets and then make iterations. One very easy way to test some stuff is you can just do it like a one-page website. if you're going to use an online model to reach out to people and just say, hey, this is the value we want to provide. Click here if you want it, right? Buy now or something. But you don't really have it. You've not even produced it. So if anybody clicks, then you can send them to a form that says, thank you so much for showing interest. We're currently in production. If you drop your details here, we'll get back to you when we have it. But that allows you to see if people are really interested. So if a lot of people are coming to your website, nobody's clicking buy, then it means that maybe people don't want to pay for it, right? So, but imagine if you're already going to go and ship 500 from China, people will buy. You shove it down their throats. You say your mom must buy, your uncle must buy, your auntie must buy, even if they don't want to use it, right? But if you put that easy way to test, very, very simple. You can test with 2,000 naira. You can start testing today, right? If you want to buy, one of the things people say that they've done market survey by talking to their friend. Hey, guy, if I bring short boxers, pink boxers that has a pony, a cute kitty on it, will you buy? Your friend, obviously, like her friend that blanked her, doesn't want you to blank him too. He says, of course, now no be you, Umar, I will buy. Anything you bring, I will buy, right? Until you now ship, you have not said, I've spoken to 5, when people are doing market survey, they'll tell you when they're pitching. So how do you know it's going to work? Well, I've spoken to 50 people and they all say they're going to buy. What are the 50 people you spoke to? Your high school classmates, primary school classmates, and your family. Of course, they will say they will buy because it's you. They don't want to really buy, right? Highest, you will shove it down their throats. But do something, do a test. Send it out there and see how many people actually do respond and say, yes, I want to buy, I'm interested, I'm going to get it, right? And then that's how you know. Yes. Yeah.
Considering probably the platform,
yeah.
You have this much one page comment,
yeah.
I tell people if you're interested in buying, then at the time the product is not ready.
Yeah.
Just testing.
Yeah. So don't do coming soon when it's ready. Buy. No, do it like it's already there. Say this is the vibration. Buy $10. Pay here. Click. Because the truth is that people's brains relate differently when they are aspirational and when they actually buy. Do you understand? It's like, for example, if I see a website on Ferrari saying, hey, new Ferrari coming out, $500,000. If you're interested to know when it comes out, click here. I will click. Can I buy it? No. If Ferrari decides that they want to use all of us that only want us, we only want to get the brochure of the latest Ferrari when it comes out, so we can go and talk about it, we can go and brag and say, hey, have you seen new Ferrari? That's the only reason why we're clicking. If Ferrari is going to say, hey, Africa is our new market. 1 million people in Africa click to buy. They will Jones. They will Jones. Do you get? But what you need to do is, because if Ferrari, so Ferrari is saying coming soon, click here for more information. I will click. I'm not a purchaser. When Ferrari says $1 million, click here to buy now. I'm closing the page, minimize. You see, can you see the same, they want to achieve the same thing, but the two different messaging change the way I would have responded. That's why many people do market surveys that don't work. Because they said, will you buy? And yes, one day I want to be a billionaire. One day I want to own a Ferrari. Do you know that one day is tomorrow or if it's next 10 years? Do you get? So that's why market surveys don't work. But if you say, buy now, click. You don't have it. When the person clicks and say, oh, thank you so much for showing interest. We're in production. However, when it's ready, we'll get back to you. Drop your email for the. But anybody that clicks really wanted to buy.
That's on the product perspective. Now, on the platform perspective, what I feel is like feeling like you're already shooting yourself on the foot ahead of that because it's not ready. Make it look as if it's ready, and they try to engage with it. Now you tell them, okay, it's not ready, we're still in production, come back, we'll let you know. Then one time, they're not telling them that.
Lots of people have done it. It's a wait list. You can even say that we're currently a beta testing. They don't have shit. We're beta testing. We've only accepted 100 customers. However, we've added it to the wait list. They don't exist. People wait. If your product is really working, if your product is really solving a problem, you understand? People will come back. People waited on the wait list for Clubhouse to get into Clubhouse. I know people that waited for Clubhouse for months to get into Clubhouse. If it's a really great product, if it's solving a problem, people will wait. Like you saying that, I was hungry yesterday now, you not give me food now, not eat today. You will Jones. You will eat. Anytime the food comes, you will eat. You cannot vex. A hungry person cannot be vexing for food. You cannot vex. Or a sick person that I came to hospital yesterday, you would not treat me. So I'll die. You will go for treatment. Any day the doctor says I'm ready for you, you will say I'm here, have mercy. I'm just waiting for you. Please don't let me die before you're ready. That's all. So if it's a real problem, people wait. Yeah. Okay, any other questions before we watch the last one, storytelling? Actually, storytelling is actually tomorrow, but we can watch ahead. Your session tomorrow is going to be about how to tell your story. You have a really great facilitator. He's Larry Phillips, he's like a bond to me. So, well, appetizer, right? All right, so let's do storytelling. I'm already late. I'm supposed to go to church. Now, if because of it, I didn't go to church.
You've done a lot of great work with your candidates on the result of the business model that you're ready to pitch. Sharing your work with others for the first time can be intimidating.
Really?
Remember, you know the model inside out. I'll help you along the way. So go ahead, pitch it.
Not like that. More than.
You wrote it on the story. So tell it like a story. Scene by scene. Use sticky notes to fill in the boxes one at a time as you explain them. Go on, try it. We're going to launch with hiring overseas retirement communities run by franchisees. These are the two customer segments we're targeting. Good. Now let me even more real.
10,000 movers are retiring every day. Like the Andersons, who can barely scrape by in Florida, but can live like kings in Brazil.
Okay, now I'll tell you the story with the next one. For the retirees, our value proposition is affordable, high-quality retirement. We take in the guesswork out of finding an overseas location that will be comfortable, affordable, and fun. And for our franchisees, we'll offer customer acquisition that is of high quality.
How will we monetize this? By charging retirees a bronze monthly fee and collecting franchise fees. They pay us for both leads and trusted growth. We already have 5 letters of intent for potential franchisees, valued at over $1 million.
Now reinforce your case by explaining what you've done for testing. Admitting your failures to investors and partners may seem unorthodox, but it shows your model is stronger at having been real-world tested and adapted. We also learned from extensive research as a failed pilot offerings that many of our customers aren't just dissatisfied with their retirement options at home, they won't pay for the keep up their medical costs either. You're doing great. Now over to the rest of your work.
Owner and bought customers with bonus or killer trust overseas options. Buy part of the
Technologies, they'll never feel too far away. Services like Skype and FaceTime, they connect your family as easy as possible.
And though our revenue numbers may seem ambitious, they're based on over $1 million in sales to customers.
But if they bring human customer service over services provided through the internet, they become that much more accessible to broader communication.
We tested, failed, adjusted, and we are now convinced the market potential of this model is enormous.
And while our ideas come, our business model is what makes us ready to compete on the largest stage. That is the story of how Beth develops a great idea and creates a great business. But their story doesn't end here. As their business begins to grow, the canvas remains valuable. Growing, evolving, with some determination, hard work, and the right business model, this can easily be your story too.
Great. So, any questions? So you can see those people tested without even building one product. Right. In fact, some people have mine. Like I have a friend who started the rice business. She didn't have anything. She collected money and went to go and buy the first rice. She advertised like she has it. Buy your rice, buy your rice, buy your rice. Someone ordered 10 bags. She collected the pay first. Person paid, she bought the rice and supplied, collected her profit. Right. So sometimes people feel like they need a lot of money to start, but many times you really don't need a lot of money to start. Because when you invest a lot of money when you're starting, then it becomes a big problem for you because now you're owing money, debtors are calling you, and Lendy and all these people are calling all your friends and telling them that Chukwuemeka borrowed money and it's on to lose. Right. So any questions? Online, offline, any questions? Was this valuable? Was this session? Yes, sir. Microphone, is it there?
I was just going to say, I think it's very necessary maybe to develop a new class or something, just to teach people that you truly do not need a lot of money to go into business. I think that's one of the big mistakes a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
And just going through this class, you can see that there are actually a lot of ways you can even test the market without spending so much money or spending any money at all.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of, because we're talking to a class of startups, early startups, aspiring entrepreneurs, it's very important to note that you don't spend so much money just chasing this business idea until you're very certain that it is something that can move forward. Yes. So I think it would be a good thing for us to be able to talk about that. And in subsequent classes, we look at this one.
Yeah.
It's a big mistake people do. You borrow money, you collect money, you take loans, and you've not even tested your idea, you've not integrated, you've not gone out, so it's a problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely. There's a 5-day class I do called Design Thinking, and it just literally takes you through the process of thinking through your idea from scratch and figuring out what the prototype would look like, and then launching without even doing anything. Everything you can do by yourself in your room, and you can actually launch your product. You can launch and see if people actually really want it, and you can begin to draw a wait list, and then from a wait list, you can actually then now know that, oh, I actually have, if I have 100 waiting customers. Like even your confidence, or even if you need to borrow money at that point to service 100 people that are waiting. In fact, if you're even bold enough, people actually get people to pay ahead and still be waiting. As long as you're sure you deliver value at the end of the day, right? So there are definitely strategies around how you can do that. Great. Any other questions? Okay, so no questions. Was this valuable to you? Sure. Valuable. Okay, so my name is Mimshak. You can follow me at Mimshak King on all social media platforms. I would prefer Instagram. I'm hardly on Twitter. And once in a while, I throw nuggets. I do sessions. I invite interesting people to come speak to my audience about how they build their business, how they raise money, how they build strategic partnerships. So you could follow and we could chat online. Thank you so much. And thank you, Saf, for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate it.
So let me just confess.
Okay.
I told the class here, and those people like that, they need to get close to some of you guys who are facilitators, especially for those who are even in the local ecosystem, because you open a lot of doors for them in terms of collaborations, people issue people that have businesses.
Yeah.
So I'm just speaking to the same audience again, those on site and online.
Yeah.
We do you a world of good to get hold of Mimshak. So please take his social handle, get in touch with him through every means you can. If you have any questions for him as well, you can drop them in the chat or send them right through to Harry.
Yeah.
And then we will send them across to him and he will connect with you. And he can really bring you wants to be on your business. He's a great mentor. That's all sorts of mentorship programs going on. It will do you a world of good. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening and staying tuned. All right, I will see the next class next week. My pleasure. Yes. Oh, okay. You know Telesoftas? How do you know us?
I actually wanted to work with them when
What did you want to work? What? Yeah, it is. It is Telesofta. All right. So for those of you online, someone asking when I'm doing my next design thinking class. I said the last one I did last year and the year before was at African University of Science and Tech. Well, we've not planned anyone this year, so maybe Kavik will host us for one. And if we're doing that, we will let you know. However, it's a ticketed event, so it's not. British Council is not sponsoring that one. Maybe they will. British Council, if you are listening, it's a good thing to sponsor. All right. Thanks, everyone.
That's right.